Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Leslie, and we're here sharing today. We're continuing our series on postpartum period. As you know, I'm a childbirth doula, and I'll be going through my own postpartum period soon. So today we're going to be talking about getting the support that you need for this crucial time. We talk a lot about who's there for you during the pregnancy and the birth, but it's really important to talk about who's there for you afterwards. And so, before we kick in, I want to turn it over to Kristina to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Kristina Duclos, and I connected with Leslie on the topic of postpartum depression. That's what my channel focuses on. So we wanted to get together and share a few videos on afterbirth so that you can really feel supported in navigating through this really chaotic, confusing, uncertain time.
Great. And so today, just to start off, a couple of things we want to talk about. And because this is the first thing that comes up after you have a baby, everyone wants to come meet baby. Visitors are like lining up before you've even given birth. Everyone asks you what your due date is because they're calling on that day to see when they can come see the baby, not understanding that that's not always when that baby comes. So what was that like for you, Kristina? What was it like for you in your immediate postpartum with visitors and things like that, and that you had a home birth and that experience?
Yeah, I don't remember a ton of visitors, but I remember people coming to visit. I remember people staying for quite some time, like over a couple hours, and having meals with us. And I remember just trying to be polite and wanting to be social when really it's like, I want to go and sleep or something. And so I wasn't very vocal with my needs. I didn't set very good boundaries on what I needed. And I think eventually it kind of built up. And I remember the midwives saying, like, you got to take care of yourself after and not overdo it and not constantly be standing and really resting, because it can have an effect on the body. And so just briefly, I share this in another video on visitors that I'll connect with. I had a situation where I ended up developing mastitis, and what happened was your body is healing your uterus, right? Like, you got a placenta-sized wound in your uterus and there's healing going on. And I guess what happened was my body shifted priority and went to then dealing with the mastitis. And I found myself at home alone with my baby while I was on the phone with my mom, noticing, I thought I was peeing my pants actually, but it was blood. And I was on the toilet. I was like, Mom, you got to call the midwife. I need support. My baby was on the countertop. Thankfully, she was safe. And I'm on the toilet waiting for the midwife to call. I'm like starting to pass out a little bit from all the blood loss. And it was a scary moment. And so what I understood was, because I was like overdoing it, my body reverted to dealing with a new problem and abandoned the old problem. And then that's why the bleeding was happening. So that other video kind of talks more about ways that we can deal with the visitors, and we're going to touch base on it here as well. And so, yeah, it's easy to get excited and caught up in it all, and you want to share this baby with everybody, especially the grandparents and other family members. But I think we can get caught up in the flurry of it all and kind of neglect ourselves and even the routine that we're creating with the baby, and it can kind of discombobulate the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I recommend, a lot of things that you mentioned, these are the things when I'm working with parents, is that I help to try to prepare them for exactly the things that you experienced. Is that, especially for first time parents, is you have all this excitement around it and you do think that you're going to want to socialize and want to show off your baby and do all of this, but you're so exhausted and you're so tired, and you really do have to prioritize taking care of yourself. And so there are polite ways to kind of set boundaries with visitors.
Yeah.
And so I'll be linking down some pre-scripted stuff, but so that you can take a look at it, moms and dads, about things that you can say in advance and when situations arise, to kind of help set up boundaries, healthy boundaries for yourself with family and friends coming to visit, especially during this time. So there are things that you can say around how there's kind ways to say that you limit the time that someone is coming, or also when people are coming, that they are helping some support. There are people that do meal trains where visitors can bring you a meal, but without the expectation that they should be eating it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring you a meal just for you, and then kind of continue on with their day, maybe stay for a little bit to meet the baby, but the meal is for just you and your partner and your family, your baby.
Yeah.
And so then you have the ability to kind of set boundaries for yourself in advance. You kind of have the script to go with, so you don't feel like you're ever in this position where you're like, I'm just having to be polite, and I'm running on no sleep and my baby's going to wake up any minute now, and I could cry at
Yeah.
how stressed out I am right now. So
Yeah.
we want to avoid those situations. And that's why we talk about this concept of mothering the mother. We talk
Yeah.
about how important it is to take care of the mom so that mom can take care of baby.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about this previously, how important it is to have rest and nourishment. And this is why it's so important, this set aside video, just on getting support and who that support can be for you. If relatives aren't close, if you don't have parents close, or your mother's not close, your in-laws aren't close, then I highly recommend, a friend, a trusted friend,
Mhm.
or a sister, a cousin, or if it really is you have no extended family in your area, I do recommend taking a look at your options in terms of having a postpartum doula, or a nurse who can come and help support,
Yeah.
or even checking out in your community. There may be some low cost, or no cost, doula options for you, as well as reaching out to the ones in your community and seeing if they offer a sliding scale for the way that they price, so that this
Mhm.
isn't something that you feel like you have to break the bank for, but it is something that I have yet to have anyone ever tell me that the support that they got postpartum was not money well spent.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
there's
no,
that.
I totally hear you. Mothering the mother, I remember just like aching for that with my son. It's like, I just need someone to take care of me, nurture me, figure this out for me. Cause like, I'm not capable, and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what resources to use. I was kind of piecing together stuff, but man, it would have been nice for someone to just swoop in and be like, look, I got it. I'm taking care of you from now on. And yeah, it can be a lot. So, what I created as a support for women, because women don't always have the financial means. Maybe you've moved to a new community, you don't know anybody. Maybe your own family members aren't really there, present, maybe don't even have the maternal instinct to support you. Whatever space you may find yourself in, it's helpful to have an online community. And nowadays, it's so easy for us with our phones. And so I created a Facebook group for women that's private, so that they can feel safe and they can connect with one another. They can ask questions, they can share their experiences. I often see people in groups just sharing, like, hey, this is what's going on for me. Is this normal? And I think a lot of women, more than anything, just want to know they're not crazy, they're not alone, that other people are experiencing what they're experiencing. And I find just so much comfort. And we're all this like hot mess together trying to figure it out. And I remember one time I posted a photo of my kitchen. I'm like, this is the state of my kitchen right now. Like, what's yours look like? And just trying to have some fun with it, and us trying to figure out life. And so that's a great place. Like, we will connect a link to that as well if you feel like joining. And it's just a place where I mostly share a lot of resources and quotes and different experiences that I've had, and also encouraging the other members of the group to share and bounce off each other and give support, because we really do need to be in community. And we're not designed now in North America, where we're kind of sporadic and we're not connected to our families as we originally were. And so we need to create a new way to support one another. And sometimes if that's just through messaging and emotionally connecting, then that's a great starting point.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, with that, we are going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll continue to be sharing about this topic, but just remember, in recap, to just focus on getting yourself that support that you need, setting the boundaries that you need around people who are going to physically be in your space after you have baby, as well as getting the physical or virtual support that you desire for this important, beautiful time in your
Mhm.
journey of motherhood.
Mhm.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Until the
Thank
next one.
you. Bye.
Bye.